Did you know you may be just a few phone calls away from putting an extra $500 to $1,000 or more in your pocket? All it takes is a couple of minutes and a little courage to call and negotiate or shop your bills, like your insurance, credit card, TV, phone, and other subscriptions. We'll explore the why and the how in this episode of the More Than a Pastor Show. Let's get started. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the More Than a Pastor Show. I'm Rich Avery, your host. This is the show where we help pastors, missionaries, other ministry leaders to grow your income and build financial security. We'll help you take your skills, experiences, and ministry know-how and find ways to leverage them into sustainable income outside the church through a business or a side hustle that's right for you, so you can serve God and provide for your family no matter what. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here and the opportunity that we have to interact here on the show. If you are new to More Than a Pastor, you can learn more about me, find the blog post and show notes for this episode, and download some free resources to help you grow your income and build financial security. You'll find those over at my website at morethanapastor.com/76 for episode 76. Hey, are you feeling a financial strain on your church right now? Wondering if there are better ways you could spark a culture of generosity or begin to explore alternative revenue streams beyond the traditional church funding model of tithes and offerings? You are not alone, and we're here to help. In upcoming episodes of the More Than a Pastor Show, we'll be tackling some of these critical issues head on, sharing stories, tools, and practical insights to help you strengthen your church's financial future. We're also offering personalized coaching designed to help you discover the right strategies for your church, whether that's diversifying revenue, fostering generosity, or navigating today's funding challenges. We'll guide you each step of the way. You can take a step toward greater sustainability for your church today by booking a free 30-minute strategy session. You can go to morethanapastor.com/coaching. Again, morethanapastor.com/coaching. More than 75% of Americans say inflation and a tough economy are making it harder to cover their bills, according to a recent LendingTree survey. Even more concerning, 40% report they're struggling more with monthly expenses than they were just a year ago. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Whether you're in ministry or not, the rising cost of living is affecting everyone. And in today's episode, we'll share several ways that you can save money by negotiating your bills. Did you know that you're a few phone calls away from putting an extra $500 or $1,000 or more in your pocket? All it takes is a couple of minutes and a little courage to call and negotiate your regular bills that you have. Maybe it's your credit card, TV, phone, insurance, or other bills or services that you pay on a regular basis. And this can go one of two ways. First, you can save money when your current provider is willing to work with you to give you a better rate. Or second, you can save money when you switch to a new provider who offers you a better rate. I know if you're like me, you'd think that companies would offer their best rates to their loyal customers, the ones that have been with them for years and years. But for many companies, they do more to attract a new customer than they do to keep their existing customers. So if you don't mind being willing to switch every year or two to a different provider, you can save a lot of money. Here's a couple of examples, though, of ways I've saved money by switching to different providers. A couple of years ago, I saved $960 a year on my TV service just by switching from my local cable company to YouTube TV. That was a significant bonus for our budget, and I've really come to enjoy YouTube TV. It has all the channels I'm interested in watching. I mean, besides some of the streaming services we have for other shows. But in terms of sports or like local channels, things like that, or national news, YouTube TV has everything I need. If you're interested in checking that out for yourself, I do have a referral code, which I'll put in the blog post show notes for this episode. If you want to save some money and try it out for yourself, you'll find that code at morethanapastor.com/76 for episode 76. But just this week, I saved $2,000 for the year on our homeowners insurance and our auto insurance policies. I live in Michigan, which has just about the highest auto insurance rates of any state here in the U.S. So every year, I'm always asking my independent insurance agent to shop around and find me the best rates. We've also got 5 kids, so at different times, as one of the kids became a new driver, then that affected our insurance. So sometimes more than once a year, we were checking to find the best rates for our family. Now, 2 years ago, we were insured by a company I'll call Company A. But a year ago, then, when it became time to renew Company A's policy, it skyrocketed. And it was like, whoa, this is like way more. Where is this number coming from? I mean, it's not like we had like any major claims or any problems that made us a greater risk or something. It was, to us, it seemed out of the blue. So we asked our insurance agent to shop around, and they found a much better deal with what I'll call Company B. And so we switched to Company B, and we saved over $1,000 last year by making that switch. But now this year, just in the last week, it came time to renew our policy again with Company B, and their rates skyrocketed. And so now, ironically, we're going back to Company A. Now this year, Company A's rates are way cheaper than Company B's rates. Go figure, how does that work? But by switching now, we're saving $2,000 this year on both, when you combine our homeowners and our auto insurance, significant savings on both of those. So first of all, the rates were cheaper, but then we also take advantage of what they call a pay in full discount. Not sure if you've seen this in your policies or if you do this or not. Like, you can pay monthly for your policy, or you can pay it all in full, 6 months or a year in advance, and have significant savings. So we're actually saving 20% by doing the pay in full option. So we got cheaper rate plus a 20% discount, saved us over $2,000 for this year for our homeowners and our auto insurance. Back in the fall, or I think in August of last year, I took advantage of a free 4-month trial subscription from the satellite radio service called Sirius XM. And I've been a subscriber in the past. I don't really care to pay for it right now, but when I get an offer for a free trial, I take it. And the last couple of years, I've gotten a free trial like late in the year, which kind of carried me through the Christmas season, and it was perfect because I love all the different holiday channels they offer on the streaming service. So anyway, I took advantage of Sirius XM for 4 months for free. Then when the trial was over, they invited me to keep the subscription for only $9.99 a month. Well, I said no thanks because I wasn't interested in paying for it at this time. Then they bounced right back with, well, would you like to have it for $4.99 a month for the year? And I said, well, no, sorry, I'm still not interested. I would like to have it again sometime. I think it's a great service. But I'm not willing to pay for it right now. But it's great to know that when I do want to subscribe sometime, I don't have to take the first rate they give me, because they're willing to let me have it for half price if I say no the first time. So it got me thinking, what else? What other things can we negotiate? What other things do we just pay the standard or rack amount for? And then you realize, oh, I could have got that for cheaper if I would have asked. A few weeks ago, I contacted our mobile phone provider to review our mobile phone and home internet plans. Fiber internet lines were installed in our neighborhood and throughout our city over the last year or so. And so I've been interested in making the switch to internet fiber because I know it's way faster for uploads and downloads than the regular internet we had, whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was called. And but the fiber prices were still a little bit higher than I thought I wanted to pay. But just during the Christmas season here recently, they offered me a deal I could not refuse. I asked them, well, how much are we paying now for our monthly internet? And we're paying like $55 a month. And they said, but for $50 a month, you could triple your speed. So we're saving $5 a month. And we're tripling our speed by going to fiber right now. Now, we're not getting the 1 gig fiber, which they want everyone to do. I think we're doing the 300, megabytes. Is that the word you use? So we're doing the 300, which is still 3 times faster than the 100 we had before. And we're saving $5. So the $5 is not substantial, but it's a cup of coffee a month. But we tripled our speed, which maybe for the average user wouldn't be important. But for me, for uploading videos to YouTube, instead of taking an hour to upload a video, it takes like 10 minutes. And so I'm grateful for the much faster speed on that right now. So you never know. Just making a phone call or asking around can really save you some significant money, or can give you upgrades if you're interested that can help enrich your life in other ways. Basically, you can negotiate any bill or service that you have, even college scholarships. Back in 2016, one of our sons was offered a full academic scholarship to a university that he was actually not interested in attending. So we used that scholarship, that offer, as a negotiating tactic with the university that he did want to attend. And when we visited that campus that he wanted to attend, which is right here in our town, we actually planned that he was going to stay at home. Well, at first he wanted to live on campus, but then he realized he could save a ton of money by buying a car and staying at home and then just driving back and forth. So we went to the campus for the visit. We met with the financial aid people, and they said, "We are pleased to present your son with our highest academic scholarship. It'll cover 50% of your tuition. It's called our President's Scholarship. And so half of our son's tuition would be covered. Aren't you so excited that we're offering this to you?" And we said, "Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much." But this other university had offered him a full academic scholarship, paying 100% of his tuition costs. And so we're wondering, would you be willing to match that? Financial aid officer said, "Let me go talk with my supervisor. I'll be back in a few minutes." So we sat around waiting in the office, maybe, I don't know, it might have been 5, maybe 10 minutes later. It wasn't super long. The financial aid officer came right back and said, "We are pleased to offer you another scholarship, which will basically match the one you received from the other university. So now you'll basically have your full academic expenses covered." And that was so exciting for us that our son was able to get basically his full tuition covered, and then was able to live at home, so he had free room and board, and was able to go to college. And then he also worked whatever little expenses he had left, like for books or other things. He actually got an amazing job through the school, like a paid internship in the summers, which he actually worked during the school year as well. And so he graduated with no college debt whatsoever. We were so proud and excited, grateful for him. He works in the IT field and makes much more money than any of the others in our family, I think, in doing that. So that's exciting for him. But it was a cool lesson to learn that, yeah, just about anything can be negotiated. So how should you, or how can you, negotiate your bills? What's the best way to get the best deal from your bills or your services that you have? Now, I have a rule of thumb that for most things, I think for companies, it's cheaper if they would work to keep an existing customer than try to find a new customer. So I think the companies would be smart and wise if they would negotiate to keep you. So that's kind of my rule of thumb as I'm coming into a negotiation. But they don't always have that perspective. And many times you see that they've posted their best deals for their new people they're trying to find. So you have to try to find a way to point that out and negotiate that with them. So here's a way I think that's helpful to do it. First, do a little research. Find out how many years you've been a customer with this company, and look at other offers that they're giving for new customers. So it's great to be armed with that information. When you come into the negotiation, you can say, "Look, I've been a customer of yours for 10 years. And look, I see you're offering these people half what I'm paying right now," or whatever it is, and kind of come in with that framework. Like, why wouldn't you want to offer me the best deal to keep me as a good customer? So then you'd call them and say up front, "Hey, look, I'm considering canceling my service," and ask them to be transferred to the customer retention or cancellation department. You can say something like this: "I need to find ways to save money, and I'm thinking about canceling my service with you. What can you do to help me out?" So third, then, if they don't come back with a deal that you're pleased with, say something like this: "I've been looking at other options, and I see that such and such company is offering new customers, blah, blah, blah. They're offering 50% or 30% or a year free," or whatever it is. "So what can you do for me here?" So you're letting them know that other people are offering better rates, and you'd like them to match that or offer you a great rate as well. So step number 4, you really need to be firm in the conversation. Remind them that you're a great customer, that there are better options, and there are, and that you're not afraid to go and get them. So step 5, if they're still not giving you what you're asking for or looking for, you can say something like this. I'm sure you understand it'd be cheaper and easier for you to keep a good customer like me than to try to find a new customer, right? So why don't we work together? Let's save us both some money. So you're kind of putting it in their court, again, reminding them that it's going to be cheaper to keep you. It's going to be better for them. They want to keep an existing customer. That makes them look better as an employee. And you also want to get a good deal out of this as well. So let them know that you're firm and you're wanting to find the better deal. Number 6, or step 6, sometimes they come back and say, sorry, there's nothing more I can do. Then you can ask to speak with their supervisor. I'm also a believer, though, that sometimes people say they don't have permission to do something, but we can give them the permission to do something. So it's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing more I can do. You can say something like, well, sure, I believe there is. What else can you do for me? Or can't you do this? Or couldn't you do this? I think sometimes if we give people permission, let them know that we believe in you. We know you can do something. You want to help us out. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But if not, again, you can ask for their supervisor. But yeah, I do something like this. Look, I know you want to do your best job and keep a good customer like me. So why don't you go ahead and give me this better rate and match what this company is offering me? I know you can do it. You don't want to lose me to them, do you? And kind of just keep putting it in their hands. But again, if they're not willing to budge, then go ahead and ask for the supervisor. Sometimes companies play hard to get. Sometimes you have to go through a couple of different levels before you get to the supervisor who can make the deal. Or in the end, maybe there's nothing more they can do. And so that's really step number 7. At the end of the day, if you don't get the best deal you're looking for, if they're not willing to meet what you're looking for to give you the best deal, you've got to be willing to tell them to go ahead and cancel your service and that you're switching to the other provider. Now, sometimes at that point, when you say, look, go ahead and cancel me, then they offer you a better deal. Sometimes it's too late, or sometimes you can go ahead and cancel. I've had, with my previous TV, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, we actually canceled. I think it was like a week later, they called me back and said, look, we want to keep you as a customer. And they offered me a better deal. But at that point, my principal said, you've lost me. I don't care at this point. So, but you can choose, that may happen, and you can choose at that point what you'd like to do. I'm recording and releasing this episode in the month of January, which is a great time to review all your bills and services and decide which ones you might want to get rid of. My wife and I just had that conversation a few days ago. She thinks there are some things we should get rid of that I'm still holding on to, some of the streaming services for some of the shows we watch. But now's a great time to review that and decide which ones do we want to get rid of or which ones do we want to negotiate, see if we can get a better rate. Sometimes now, too, services can be bundled. I mean, even with the streaming services, you can have this one service, or you can get these 3 together for $1 more or something, and you can decide, do I want those? Maybe you've already subscribed to all 3, and you can get them for cheaper if you bundle them, or decide, no, that's not really worth the cost for me. But now is a great time in the month of January, or really any time is a great time to negotiate your bills or to review your services and see which ones can you get rid of or get a better rate on. I'm guessing that you could save $500 to $1,000 or more this year with just a few phone calls. It's already worked for me. Do it for your personal bills. Do it for your church bills as well. So do you have a great story to share of how you've saved money by negotiating your bills? I'd love to hear about it. Or is it time for you to give it a try and make some contacts with some of your providers and see if you can get a better rate? Please let me know at rich@morethanapastor.com. I'd love to hear from you. Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks for joining me today. Again, if you want to check out the blog post for this episode, get the link for the YouTube TV if you want to check that out. You can go to morethanapastor.com/76. I hope this episode has been helpful. If it has, would you take a minute and share it with someone else? Let someone else know. Maybe share it on Facebook or on Twitter or on LinkedIn. Let someone else know about the show. so we can help spread the word and help other pastors, missionaries, or other ministry leaders, we'd really appreciate it. Until next time, remember that you are more than a pastor. Saying yes to God's call doesn't mean you have to say yes to feeling stuck, broke, or unfulfilled in your life and ministry. Let's work together and help you create the life, impact, and income that you were made for.